Healthy Food, Happy You, where our goal is to show you the benefits of a plant-based diet. I'm your host, Dr. Jeena Ingraham. We're here today with a holistic health and nutritional consultant. I would like to welcome Dr. Ruby Lathon. Hi.
Well, hello.
Dr. Lathon. How are you?
I'm great. I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
So, what are we going to be doing? What wonderful dish are you cooking up for us today?
Well, today we're making one of my favorites. It's a fettuccine alfredo, and it's made with a cashew cream sauce. And I used to love the traditional fettuccine alfredo. So I was trying to look for a way to replace that for a more plant-based approach that I could still have that yummy creaminess, but not get all the cholesterol and calories that you would get in a traditional approach. So this is a nice take on it, and I thought whenever I make it, people love it. So I thought a great example for the show today.
A fettuccine pasta, come on.
Well, pasta gets a bad rap, but actually whole grain pasta is really good for you. Okay. It's the simple carbohydrates, because people think, especially when you're doing weight maintenance and things like that, or weight loss, stay away from the carbs. Right. That's not true at all. We really, really need carbs for our body to operate properly. It's just the right kind of carb. So when you get a whole grain pasta, you get fiber, you get protein, and you get that good carbohydrate mix that dissolves slowly in the body, and it doesn't spike our blood sugars like a simple carbohydrate. So we're using a whole grain pasta today.
Great, let's get started.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and get started. So, and the cashews have that healthy fat, and your nuts have the healthy monounsaturated fat that you really want. So we're gonna add and that's about 1.5 cups, or I add a little more. The recipe's about 1 cup, but I add about a little bit of 1.5 cups of our raw cashews. You don't want the roasted. We're going to add some garlic. And since I have a high-speed blender, I can put all the stuff in there at once, and it'll just blend really well. If you're at home, you want to add your water first and do things a little more in sequence. So we just want to add our garlic. We're going to, a quick way to...
So all your ingredients, are they organic? Do you normally stay in that?
I try to. Mostly, your leafy greens, and things that you're not going to peel, like your bell peppers, things like that, definitely. I try to do as much organic as possible. And you can look up online, there's a list of the Clean 15, that's vegetables and fruits that don't necessarily have to be organic. Oh. And then there's something called the Dirty Dozen, which means you always want to be organic.
If they don't necessarily have to be organic, then we can save a lot of money, because organic is really, oh my God.
Absolutely. And you can shop around to your health food stores. Some are more or less expensive than others. So I try to find those that are in a really good ballpark. Oh. Okay. All right, well, our water is ready, so we are going to add our pasta. It's nicely boiling there. And as I mentioned, whoops, we only want to do it about somewhere between 6 and 8 minutes. So we'll kind of start our timer for about 6 minutes.
So what's the serving size for this? I noticed you used the whole box.
Right. Usually for about 4 or more people, about 4 people this will serve. If you have really big appetites, you can add a few more, another box, but I think one will do. With this recipe, about 1.5 boxes. We're going to add some of this boiling water to the cashews. It softens them up a little bit. So we need about 1 cup, and also some of the starch from the water actually helps make the sauce a little creamier. Oh, good. So I'm just going to dip this right in here. A nice.
So we're really being green. We're using everything.
Yeah, and it's great to be able to use that water as well, especially when you're sautéing your veggies and things like that. All right. So we will do that. And we can just blend that up a little bit, get it started. Okay, so the recipe calls for about 3 cloves of garlic. I always like a little extra, so about 3 or 4. And then we are going to put about 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Now, if you really don't want to add any added oils, you can skip this, because I've skipped it before accidentally and it still tasted great. So the oil is somewhat optional, but it just adds another depth of flavor. So we're going to do 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. Now, nutritional yeast, some people might not be familiar. It's not the yeast that rises. It's actually an inactive yeast that has some protein and a lot of B vitamins, and it adds a lot of flavor and creaminess to dishes.
Wow.
So we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. And then we're going to add about a teaspoon of salt. And I always like to use sea salt, because table salt has been highly processed with chemicals and things like that. It takes away a lot of nutrients. So we want to use pure sea salt. Okay. All right. And then we're going to add a little cracked pepper. It's always great to, if you can do this, you know, just fresh. To do the cracked pepper.
Now that's good for your immune system, isn't it?
Cracked pepper is. There's a lot of, you know, what's also great, where we're going to add a lot of the peppers, the cracked pepper, cayenne pepper, is really good, and you can just smell that, doesn't it? Doesn't that smell great?
So nice.
Yeah. So this is kind of to taste the cracked pepper, and then we're going to do a little. I'll add this later at the end. We're going to add some a tablespoon of fresh squeezed lemon juice. So we're just going to use our little juicer here, and there's several types. Because it's always great to use fresh lemon juice in your recipes. Just, it adds a totally different flavor. Don't buy those little cartons of the, you know, that lemon juice.
That little stuff in the green bottle and all that stuff.
It does not compare. No, yeah. For real recipes, real food, we want to use real lemons. And lemons have an antibiotic effect.
Oh, really?
As well. It's great to just add a lemon to your water in the morning. I was just on a trip to Ghana, and one of the things you look out for, they say, is cholera and other things, but they found that lemon on the food actually helps control that. And that's how much of an antibiotic effect lemon has. So we're going to add that to right in there. So what I'm about to add is something called liquid aminos. And it's similar to a soy sauce, but with natural sodium. So it's a little healthier for you there. And it's got a lot of essential amino acids in it.
So is it protein?
It doesn't have a lot of protein, no. It's got a little bit, but it's got those essential amino acids.
And what do they do for your body?
They're kind of like the building blocks, and that's why they're essential. It's something that we must get, and so it's one of the things, one way to get it. But usually when you eat a balanced diet, you're going to get that when you eat a wide array of your fruits and vegetables.
Great.
And I think we're going to add a little bit of cayenne. I mean, we added a little cracked pepper, but cayenne I always like to add just a little bit to almost everything because it just adds a nice flavor. And then we're also going to add a little sweetness with a tiny bit of paprika. So we're just going to go ahead and blend this up. So you got your good fats here, no cholesterol, none of the bad stuff that you want. Actually a healthy cream sauce.
And it has a little kick.
It does. That's the cayenne. So you can make it as spicy or as not spicy as you want. So I'm just going to turn this on because we are going to lightly saute some of our vegetables.
Okay. So no oil whatsoever?
No. One of the things is we don't want to overdo it on the oils, as I was saying, but also when you heat up oil to high heats, you really kill the benefits of the oil. And so you're getting more just the fat and the flavor, but you really don't need that. We have already got great flavor in our fruits and veggies. So I always saute in water. I just added some shallots, which are really good, a little milder than your typical onions. So next, crimini mushrooms. And then I'm going to add our bell peppers and spinach last. You really want to eat the rainbow, as they say, because the more colors you get, the different nutrients. You get different antioxidants, different flavonoids, different carotenoids, all kinds of things. So you want to eat colorfully. If your plate is all one color, you need to add a few other fruits and vegetables to it. A little bit of the sauce to get the, doesn't that look yummy?
Oh, it looks delicious. And look like you just barely steamed the spinach.
Absolutely, because it's going to wilt with the heat of everything else. We're going to add our spaghetti, our fettuccine, and just kind of mix it all together here. And then I'm going to add the rest of our sauce right on top, loosen that up. We're done.
Thank you for this beautiful dish.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Shall we taste it?
Absolutely,
Oh my God,
absolutely.
I can't wait. It smells so delicious.
That's good.
Oh, this is really good. I like the consistency. I like the, it's like, you know, all these flavors dancing in your mouth.
So this can be a great replacement for the high-fat, high-cholesterol, artery-clogging fettuccine Alfredo to something that's heart-healthy and delicious, and you get all your great vegetables.